it's a big moment in just television for me personally. I know it sounds a little bit dramatic, but I actually think it justifies itself. I mean, look, this is The Paper. This is essentially a spin-off to one of the most watched TV series sitcoms of all time, which is The Office, right? And we have to remember that the US Office was originally, a reboot in itself. And a lot of people judged that at the very beginning. Say what you will about season 1, it had its issues. It took its time to get into its groove. And there was definitely things that you could say about the first season. It was hanging by a thread at the very beginning. It nearly didn't get accepted, which is just insane to just think of the absolute legacy that is that show. And obviously Greg Daniels and Michael Cohen and everyone else that's involved in that show. As we say, it was a lightning in a bottle series that I don't know.
You can't recapture that, man. That cast.
That's it. Lightning doesn't strike twice.
Exactly. And then the time it was released.
Exactly.
It was the perfect storm.
It was amazing.
Absolutely.
We all love it. We can just talk to death, and we already have about why that show is so amazing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this series, it wasn't like I was expecting it to be as good or anything.
No. But I went in with an open mind, as I'm sure you did.
I had really high hopes for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have high hopes, but I was keeping an open mind.
Yeah, for sure.
I was ready for it to be good.
I was majorly disappointed with The Paper. And like I said, there are a lot of people online, most fans, this was inevitable. We predicted this, that right off the bat, people will prejudge it just for the fact that it's a spin-off and it's touching on just the legacy of such a legendary show. Obviously, people are going to prejudge it. And we're in this day and age now where people have such short attention spans. And if something doesn't immediately grip your attention, then you're just going to write it off and be like, oh, it's shit. It didn't hook me. I don't like that. I like to give things a real benefit of the doubt and a chance. TikTok is massively to blame for that. I mean, you have a 1 second fucking attention span these days with especially people in our generation. But having said that, I do agree that The Paper was, I wouldn't say shit. I wouldn't say it's shit.
Dull.
It's very dull.
But again, that's worse than saying it was shit, because if it was shit, I feel like I would talk about it with more passion.
Yeah.
Because even the things we hate, we talk passionately about.
Yeah.
That there's something to get angry about.
Yeah.
And it's just, the worst part is it's not even, I can't even say it's that bad.
No.
It's just very, very dull. And the actors, they're really doing their best.
Oh, they are.
I can't say anything bad about Domhnall Gleeson,
No.
any of the people. And there's potential there with some of the characters and some of the relationships. But I know they're just given nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like they decided, what if we took The Office but forgot to add the comedy in? Because obviously, it's a situational comedy.
Yeah.
And the drama comes from the interactions between these characters and the environment they're in.
Yeah.
But this is almost like them trying to give it a proper narrative, and that just doesn't work for something like The Office.
Yeah.
Like when you're a Dunder Mifflin, could you care any less about the business?
No.
I mean, when Michael makes a business deal, fine, that might maybe put the plot line of an episode, but it's how he does it. It's because we love his character.
Yeah.
With this, I don't care about the investigative journalism aspect. Maybe in a different show, yes. In a drama, absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is meant to make me laugh.
Yeah, I
and
know.
was just sat there thinking there's supposed to be a joke here, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
a line it's meant on paper
Yeah.
it's funny.
Yeah.
Is said, and I just wasn't laughing. It just wasn't hitting, and I think that's probably also due to the way they were directed as well, because delivery can only save a weak piece of dialogue or a weak joke so much.
Yeah. I agree. Mostly, I didn't find it funny. I really didn't find it funny. I tried to find it funny. It's one of those. I mean, in particular, the pilot episode I think is just so jumbled and messy. It's trying to do a bunch of different things. Look, it's hard to set up a series like this because, first you need to, especially in the pilot, you got to get a lot of things straight, right? First of all, you need to intrigue them to watch the second episode. So you need some kind of what's the word? Conflict that doesn't get resolved, or just something like that, a hook that makes people click onto the next one, right? There wasn't really anything like that in the first episode. The only reason why I watched the second episode was because I was disciplining myself to think look, I need to give this a chance, which isn't a good start, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't need discipline to watch the...
You should be all in from the beginning. You should be you want to watch it rather than feeling like it's a chore.
Yeah, but then again, series history has shown that some series, even Parks and Rec, apparently the first 2 seasons aren't very good, but and then it goes on to be just as legendary, and a lot of people even prefer that to the US Office.
Yeah.
And obviously, like what we said, I mean, the pilot in the US Office was basically a shot-for-shot thing that really annoyed me at the beginning. It turned me off to the whole idea of it, and then I warmed up once it fell into itself.
But imagine if you'd stopped watching, like
Yeah,
what you would have missed
exactly.
out with that
That's
that
it.
original show.
So you have to keep that in mind. You know, it's a pilot. It's not going to give you everything you need, and maybe it will get better. That's the kind of outlook that I had. And I will actually say that having kind of spent time watching the first half and then going back to the second half, I will say that the second half is a lot better than the first half. And I could kind of it kind of clicked into place for me. There was a moment, I think it was at episode 6, where I just kind of felt like, okay, I can see the potential for this, and maybe it just needs a bit of time. Having said that, though, as a season in itself, it is majorly flawed, and it does massively lack what a sitcom needs, which is comedy. I don't understand. Like, it's a sitcom. It didn't make me laugh. It actually did not make me laugh. Maybe that's just our sense of humor, but I don't know.
The biggest chuckle I got was when the British guy mentioned St Albans. That's a bad sign.
Yeah, just because you know St.
Exactly.
Albans.
We're like, shout out Hertfordshire. But like, that is terrible, and that is the funniest moment of the whole show. And it
That's
wasn't
not
even a
even
big laugh.
that's not even a joke. That's
Exactly. I was just like, yeah.
I know that place.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say, Tim Key, so that's the British guy. I like Tim Key's character. A lot of people are saying he's just trying to be like, he's just, he's trying
Like,
to
he's very
replicate.
snooty. He's there.
He's
to
snooty.
be,
That's
like,
what Tim Key's great for.
Yeah.
I think he was kind of well cast, and then, like I was saying, a lot of people were comparing him to David Brent, saying, "Oh, he's just trying to be David Brent," which I completely disagree.
Just because he's the only
he's
Brit
British.
in the cast. That's it.
He's not like
he's
David
a very
Brent.
sarcastic, like British man.
Yeah, he's not like David Brent. But and then it seemed like a lot of the side characters were kind of just there. There were kind of different alterations of the same thing. They're all kind of dumb.
Speaking of the side characters, I think the biggest miscalculation of this show was casting that lady from the White Lotus. I can't remember her name. Esmeralda, that's it. Yeah, sorry, Sabrina something.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered her last name. But she's fantastic in the White Lotus for what she needed to do.
Yeah.
Her character, I mean, even if she's meant to be annoying, it took me out every single time.
Yeah.
Like, the expression when they're really, like, they're mugging for the camera. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like she was doing.
Yeah.
And I don't even blame her. Again, it's probably the way she was directed.
Yeah.
And the writing, though, a lot,
I actually agree with you there.
Delivery,
I think a lot of it is to do with the way she was directed, because I noticed that a lot of the time in, like, the talking heads, she's looking at the camera and it kind of pulls you out of it, because it's like, that's not what you would do in a documentary. Like, you wouldn't, like, in an actual documentary, you wouldn't just look straight into the camera and be all goofy and stuff like that. You'd be a bit more reserved. I know at the beginning she's like, "Oh, which camera? Should I look at the camera or should I look at you?"
And that's fine.
It just felt a little bit like exactly what you said. She's mugging to the camera, yeah.
Like, especially in that last episode where she's like, "Oh, I win this award for the newspaper, the best paper in the world." And I'm like, you're in the wrong show.
Yeah.
You could be fantastic in a slightly more heightened sitcom. I mean, look, The Office is heightened to some degree, but I feel like it kept a sense of realism.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this show does, I mean, painfully, but she felt so out of place.
Oh, that's why, yeah.
Yeah, no, in any other sitcom, like, actually, do you know what she'd be great in? It's Always Sunny. She'd be fantastic in that show.
Yeah.
Because she's such a weird little side character.
It's a bit of a mismatch, right?
Yeah.
And you're
it
not
just didn't
alone.
work.
Like, she is universally pretty much hated online.
What, her character?
People cannot
I'm not
stand
surprised.
her. Yeah.
And
I will say that
She's a talented actress.
I actually think that, having said that, and I know it sounds really weird because I do agree with you, she was one of the most annoying elements, especially in the beginning of the series. I was just like, I just don't like looking at you. I don't like listening to you. You're
Fucking hell.
You're fucking ruining
That
it.
is that's brutal.
You're ruining the realism here.
Jesus. Yeah.
You're too larger than life to be set in this location with these people. But as it went on, I started to think, like, maybe her character could have more potential in the second season when she gets fleshed out. Because at the end of the day, this is a character-based show. And so when you don't really know the characters, then inevitably you are going to be a little bit, fast and loose with them. But there might be a point in the show where we realize why Esmeralda's the way she is. She has some fucking weird backstory or something that explains it, or maybe she redeems herself somehow. So I actually don't think that they should listen to the fans and get rid of her. No, I think that they
I'm
should
not saying
justify
get rid of her
character.
at all.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe just listen to the feedback and change the way they've written their character. Like they changed Michael Scott.
Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake, what was it for? Like the beginning of season 1, like season 2, you see, he's a lot more likable.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's kind of she actually draws a lot of I'm not saying she's anywhere near as good as fucking Steve Carell, like night and day, but it's almost like a character has they have a lot of similarities in the sense that she's very vocal about her feelings. She's very childish and ridiculous, the way she's trying to sabotage people, and it's like she can't help but be guided by her feelings, which is very similar to Michael Scott. So it's interesting that one character could have such similarities, but just the way it's played just does not work. She just doesn't fit it very well at all. Domhnall Gleeson, what did you think of him?
He's fine.
What did you think of his character?
Fine. That's all I can say. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's likable. The guy he's very charismatic.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't feel any way like towards him.
Yeah.
Way or the other. But then again, maybe a second season,
I'll
be like, this is a bloody great character. But like, I don't know, he's the straight man and he plays it well.
Yeah.
But I think the difference is of like Michael Scott and Dwight, there's just a lot more to them.
I know, right? But maybe that's
who
just
knows?
because we
Who
had
knows?
nice
Maybe
seasons
like
with them.
in a year's time we'll be like, holy shit, this
I know.
is like fantastic.
I love how inevitably we just cannot help but compare them.
Yeah,
we
but
cannot
like how,
help but
and
compare the
also
shows.
with the bloody fact that they decided to bring back Oscar. How did you feel about Oscar being there? Did it take you out? Did you have any strong feelings towards that?
It's fine. Like he's there. Didn't have to be there. And I know, look, we are making the mistake in this conversation of drawing too many comparisons, but who the fuck cares?
So hard
I
not
can't
to.
help it.
Also, it's a show that we have such an affection for, and a lot of people in our generation we grew up with.
Yeah, and
how
I
could
respect.
we not?
I genuinely respect that. I respect so much that it's not trying to just be the same thing.
No,
and it is trying to be more maybe narrative based and focusing on the dramas of the newspaper company. But I just wish I cared more about the story.
Yeah, same,
I really
man.
wish I cared,
Same.
or at least make me laugh.
Yeah.
Do one or two things, right?
And coming back to what you said about how you thought the last half was a lot better, I think that's a problem. Even during the first season of a show, I shouldn't get to the end and think, okay, now there's potential. I should be thinking that like by the second episode, maybe not the first because a pilot is a pilot, but at least by the second or third episode, I should be like, right, this is fantastic. I want to see what happens.
Yeah,
and the fact that it took like almost half the episodes to do that, I think that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, no, I agree. I get you.
Yeah,
I do.
But I'm not writing it off completely.
No.
It's just very disappointing, and I kind of, in a way, wish it was bad because I'd feel more passionately about it. It's not.
It's
even
not
like,
bad.
It's not even terrible.
It's
it really
not
isn't
bad. It's really not bad. You can tell there's passion involved.
Yeah.
There is creativity there. And I just think the second half is more well written.
Yeah.
And it made me realize actually, I'm drawing comparisons again, is that when you go back to the US office, individual episodes were written by so many different people. A lot of people that were in the cast, like Mindy Kaling, she wrote a lot of episodes. BJ Novak.
Yeah. Did John Krasinski write, or did he just
John
direct?
Krasinski directed. I'm not sure he wrote.
Yeah.
And then the guy who plays Toby, Paul Lieberstein or something. There was a whole team of writers for that show for different episodes. And so, that shows why it had such a variety in that show. But like you said, I'm definitely down. I mean, I think it's good. We'll be able to gauge it more when there's 2 or 3 seasons, and we can actually tell, that we can see the character arcs more. I think we do actually genuinely need to give this more time. I know at the beginning when I first said, I was really, really angry with it for some reason, just because of how fucking boring and dull it was. I was just like, for fuck's sake, I don't know some of the decisions that they made. And the thing that annoys me is that some of the characters are seriously dumb, like thick.
Oh, they make like really stupid.
And I know
decisions.
there are dumb characters in the US office, like Kevin, for example, but he's not a moron. And there are some, and you just think the jokes aren't clever because the people aren't clever enough. Every person in the US office was smart enough to actually work there. And then you look at some of the characters in this show and you think you actually wouldn't get hired.
Like, how did you get this job?
You wouldn't get that job.
Yeah.
So it pulls me out of it because I'm not immersed in the story. It's supposed to be a documentary style thing. It's supposed to be very grounded in realism and naturalism. And another thing that I didn't like was that even the very beginning gave me a sour taste, was that They fucking show you Dunder Mifflin. I don't even know why it's linked to Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah,
it's so
that
lazy.
made me really sad, mate. Because I don't want to know what happens to Dunder Mifflin.
No.
And thankfully, it's never going to ruin the end of The Office. That was such a fantastic finale.
Yeah.
But a part of me did die a little, knowing that, like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, no one ever got to
same.
use that building. Oh, it's just gone.
It's just turned into some beauty spa thing.
And what annoys me is you didn't need to say that at all.
No, no one-
No need.
No one needed to see that.
Honestly, the only connective tissue really needs to be Oscar if you have to, and maybe one reference.
Yeah.
That's it. A little reference, Dunder Mifflin, that's fine. But
Yeah.
actually telling us what happens,
Yeah.
it's kind of sad.
It is sad. I don't
It's
need to
really
see
sad.
Dunder Mifflin just be completely revamped and changed. I love The
demolished,
Office.
right?
Yeah, demolish. I don't want to see that. I don't even know why Bob Vance was there, apart from just a little bit of fan service. They don't need to do shit like that. Even little references and stuff.
Yeah.
It's okay here and there, but it's also
Yeah.
just a little bit lazy to me. And what did you feel about the weird splicing in with like old footage of like the newspaper company when it was like doing really well? Like it was like black and white footage. That kind of took me out of it a little bit as well.
I felt like at points this show didn't know what it wanted to
Yeah.
be. It was kind of stuck between doing its own thing, recreating the feel of the original US Office.
Yeah.
And then just trying to find some like weird in between.
Yeah.
Because again, they're really trying to dive in more to like the actual journalism of it.
Mm-hmm.
And fair enough,
Yeah.
do something different, but it just took me out.
Yeah.
It's like in this setting, I'm not interested in learning about investigative journalism in the context of a comedy.
Yeah. However, still going to give it a go. Still going to
Yeah.
keep watching it, and maybe it will get better. Who the fuck knows? It might go on to be a legendary show, but I'm not holding out.
Yeah,
much
like
hope.
in a year's time, we'll look like complete idiots.
Yeah, I hope we do. I hope we look back at this episode and go,
Yeah.
fucking hell, we were completely wrong. We should have
Yeah.
given it more of a chance. But
So, fingers crossed.